Hey guys, just a couple of quick housekeeping items before we get into the interview with Feely. As always, our videos here on the Scratch Golf Show are sponsored by Core Chiropractic and Performance Center, a local family-owned business here in Michigan. Doctors Billy and Dr. Maddie do a number of different services from chiropractic, injury rehabilitation, and sports performance. If you're local to the area in Michigan, check out corecpc.com to schedule your free consultation. Mention the Scratch Golf Show upon arrival to receive a discount on your first appointment. We're also partnering with Bubba Whips, Feely's company, who makes hand-painted hickory alignment sticks. They're awesome. I just ordered a set of custom Scratch Golf Show alignment sticks. Really excited to get my set of whips. Make sure you check them out at BubbaWhips.com. We're going to be doing a giveaway, giving away a set of whips to promote the interview. So make sure you check them out as well. I'll have their link in the description. Hope you guys enjoy the video. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. It helps me out a ton. If you're listening on Spotify, leave a review and check us out on YouTube. Hit subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy the video, interview with Feely. It's a great one. Hey guys, welcome to our first episode of the Caddie Corner here on the Scratch Golf Show, featuring a really, really cool guest, Feely, aka Alex Goggert, caddy for Eric Van Ryan. Feely, man, welcome to the show. Really appreciate you jumping on today.
Hey, pal. Thanks, Marco. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Fresh off a big win at the Minnesota PGA, lapping the field by a ton. Third, I think you beat third by 11. But before we get into that, let's just start a little bit about how you got started with EVR and kind of your relationship with Eric and how that all got started and going way back in the day when you guys were teammates back in Minnesota.
Yeah, so Eric and I's relationship started back in 2010 when I went to college at the University of Minnesota. We college teammates. He was a year ahead of me, so I played 3 years with him. And then he went to South Africa to play the Sunshine Tour. And I was going to turn pro after college. And I kind of had a college career that was really slow to start. And I kind of got better as I got towards the latter end of the college career. And then, so I was like, you know what? I'll go to South Africa and try Q school there.
Yeah.
I did Q school there and then got through. So he was like, just live with me. And so I lived with him for a year. I played absolutely god awful there, and lost my card. Came back to the States. My girlfriend, now my wife, at the time, moved to Arizona. Spent some time there, and I kind of watched his career for a few years. Played the Sunshine Tour, then he got over the Challenge Tour, which is the equivalent to the Corn Ferry of the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
The Challenge Tour is the
DP World Tour.
For the DP World Tour, yeah. And then got his European Tour card, and I kept nagging him. I'm like, dude, let me come caddy for you. Let me come caddy for you. And then he was in between caddies, and he's like, no, dude, I'm going to hire a professional caddy. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hired one, and then that one didn't work. And then he had an opportunity for me to go to a tournament with him in Mexico, and was up at Elevation and whatever. And first event caddying, kind of get my feet wet, and I'm like, whoa, like at Elevation, I'm like, this is a lot. Yeah. And but I loved it, worked out good, and we've been running ever since for the last 5.5 years.
Yeah, and y'all seem to have like a pretty like straight up like friendship style relationship. Like it doesn't seem like you let the friendship affect your relationship. Like I listened to a podcast, I think it was a member guest pod that you were on. You had mentioned like you're not afraid to like be blunt with him, and that's interesting. And because I can't do that with my boss, you know what I mean. So it seems like that's the style relationship y'all have.
Yeah, our number one rule is just honesty, just pure and utter honesty. I love him to death, and I'm gonna put my best foot forward every day.
Yeah.
And that's, I think all you can do as an employee or, is in just everyday life, whether you're playing golf, whether you're working, whether you're, whatever you're doing, just give your best and be honest and move forward. It's, no matter what I say to them, it's not, it's never under bad will, it's always with the best intentions to help his progress through the game and continue to get better.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk a little bit about his recent last win. I know a very emotional week for you guys. Speaking of Mexico, the Worldwide Technologies Championship that you guys won last November. I'll do my best to set the scene, and then I'll turn it over to you because I know it's something that you guys are very passionate about. But last November, you had an unfortunate, I believe, one of your good friends had a diagnosed with melanoma. The week before that event, EVR went on to shoot, I think, a back 928, and I just watched the highlight videos the other day of him just pouring in putts and made an eagle on the last to win. And after that, you guys had a huge embrace, and I see you celebrate just as hard as he did when that putt went in. So talk to me a little bit about that week, and then specifically more that kind of what that back nine was like from your perspective, and how you guys celebrated after that win, and how much that meant to you.
Yeah, it was a really emotional week, especially after we won. It would have been emotional regardless. We got
Yeah,
a text from him in our group chat with all our college buddies. Him kind of telling us he's got 6 to 10 weeks. With news that he got news from the doctor. We got that Wednesday morning. Had to go play a 9-hole pro-am that day, and you know, it was. I remember walking down the pro-am and we teed off at number one, and there was a few. He hit one down the middle, and a few other guys hit one down the middle, and there's a Callaway there, but it's marked with the initials JT. I'm like,
yeah,
oh, someone marked a Callaway with JT. Didn't think anything of it, and Fred's like, that's mine. And when I say Fred, that's Eric.
yeah,
His real name is Frederick, and that's where we call him Fred, and he gets Eric from.
right,
But and I'm like, okay, I love this, and
yeah,
yeah, just kind of played, and it was go play, and then you'd go back, and it was really emotional from a day-to-day basis. We're talking to our buddies who are with him at the hospital, just seeing how he's doing, and he's pretty beat up,
yeah,
and then the best way I've described it is it was just meant to be. That back nine, you can't predict a 28. You can't,
right,
you know, will that stuff to happen. Like you try, and it was a weird kind of feeling. I'm like, there's something bigger at play here. Someone else has a little bit more control of this
yeah,
than us. And
right,
we bogey the first hole. It's a par five. We hit driver foreign in the front left bunker. The pin's front left. It's a good spot, uphill lie. We leave it in the bunker, then don't get up and down, end up making six.
yeah,
Next hole is par three, hits it to 30 foot, makes it. We walk off the green. I'm like, this game is so stupid.
right,
And it's just like, and then I remember us standing on the eighth fairway, and he's kind of like, ugh. We didn't get off to a great start. We're probably 4 or 5 behind at this point. And he's like, dude, I really want to win this golf tournament. And I'm like, I know, dude, me too. Like, but at the end of the day, all you can do is just give your best and do your job on each and every shot and see where it takes you. And
yeah,
unfortunately, that's all you can do. You can pick a shot given the circumstances and move forward. And yeah, he got it going on the back nine. They moved that tee up on 10 to make it drivable. Hit it on the front fringe. 2 putted for birdie. 11 almost scooped it. 12 he made a 20-footer, and then it was like, okay, here we go.
we're going, yeah,
And then the kicker was on 15. 15 is one of the strangest greens probably on tour. It's one where it's designed with an extreme slope right to left. If you land this ball on the right fringe, it will roll all the way off to the left. And so you have to land this thing like middle of the green.
yeah,
And pins like 5 off the left, 4 off the left, 10 or 11 on. We had a 9-iron and pulls a little bit, and it's right on the fringe line. And anything left of the green, it rolls down into the hazard. This ball somehow landed like an inch on the fringe and stayed there. And this thing sloped like this. We get up there.
yeah,
How does that thing stay there? There's not much wind,
right,
anything. There's a touch of wind off the right. And Kuchar and Camilo Villegas are coming up. And we're up by the green. And I'm like, bud, you need to putt this ball now. because like if any wind
Yeah.
comes, like this ball is rolling off the green
Gone.
into the hazard,
Yeah.
and that's the tournament. He goes, no, dude, I can't do that. It's out of turn. It's playing out of turn, and I'm like, just just hit the ball, just putt it.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, dude. And I'm like, just ask Kuchar if he can play. And Kuchar's 2 up at the time,
Yeah.
and so Kuchar just finally gets to the green. Hasn't marked his ball yet. We're there for probably a minute and a half already, and he goes, Matt. He's Eric is always very courteous and got really good manners. And
Yeah.
like, Matt, would you mind if I just played up? And Matt looks at him and smiles, and he goes, no, man, go ahead. So Eric kind of like gets in there and puts it, and I'm like sitting
Yeah.
there, I'm like, dude, don't even read this thing. Just putt this thing. Just
Yeah.
get it out of this position, because this position is like the difference from 4 to 6 on this hole.
Right.
And I don't even care if you make it. Just get it up by the hole. But he ended up putting it, made par, and then the last 3 holes hooped 20 to 25 footers to win. And
Yeah,
it
man.
was really emotional. It was this like almost bungee cord within like your emotions, like one pulling you super high and one pulling you super low from the news we had. And
Yeah.
it was really hard to manage, honestly.
Yeah.
From an emotional standpoint, I call myself a pretty chill person in general.
Yeah.
Not many things bother me. I'm not the guy to honk on the horn if someone doesn't use the blinker,
Yeah.
or usually not in too big of a hurry. But it was just like it was emotional for sure, and it was even that. I remember that fall in December after the fact, I like kept like feeling like things in like my heart. And I'm like, I'm gonna go get this checked out. So I got it checked out, and they're like, dude, you're stressed out, and like you're anxious, and so yeah, it was an extremely emotional week. But the best way I describe it, it was just meant to be, because you can't draw that play up in basketball or anything like that.
You can't write that. You can't make it up. Like literally, you cannot write you can't write a better ending than that, right?
No,
that type of stuff is scripted
for sure.
And it's like I said, I remember that was. I mean, he poured those 3 on 16, 17, 18 in the dead center.
They would have went in a thimble.
Yeah, Johnson. I think it was Johnson Wagner on the call. That's what he said on 18.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Speaking of experiences, I don't want to go away from that. But you guys recently just played in the Olympics. Talk to me a little bit about that experience for you guys, and how cool that was being over in Paris for a couple of weeks playing.
That was amazing as well from an experience standpoint. It was bucket listy. To set the scene, you're kind of in the. We stayed in the Olympic Village, where all these other athletes are staying, from table tennis to boxing to water polo to track and field to swimming to tennis to rugby, all these different sports, to mountain biking. So obviously there's all these Olympic sports, and it was so cool to be in that environment with all these different athletes from different parts of the world and all these different sports that some of them I've never played, like handball or something like that.
Breakdancing.
Exactly. That was a pretty funny video, by the way. But, so that was really cool. And, you get in there and you get, me as an American, I'm on the South African team. As like a support staff, and I get this whole suitcase with all this South African clothes and South African hats, shoes, belts, backpacks. It felt like you were in college again. It's like the first day you go to college. If you're playing a sport, you have this suitcase full of your clothes for the year, with 10 golf shirts, 6 pair of shorts, some pants, some pullovers, some hoodies. And it was just like, it felt like that again, because I'm not sure if this is everywhere, but like at University of Minnesota, our dorm was kind of all the athletes. So with wrestlers to swimmers, so it felt a little bit like that again, and
Hmm.
everyone's there competing. Everyone's pretty like-minded
Yeah.
in terms of competition, whatever they were doing, whether, whatever sport they were doing. So
Yeah.
that was really cool. Kind of walk around there, and the setup for it is incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
it takes you 20 minutes to walk around the whole thing,
That's wild.
and it was really cool. So like you're set up in like a South African apartment, and then there's Sri Lanka next to you, and then there's Australia,
Yeah.
and then there's Pakistan,
Yeah.
and then the U.S. has this just immaculate apartment with their own personal gym, and
Yeah.
it was really cool to see.
Yeah, man, I was following your Instagram story. It looked like you guys were having a blast. It's so cool. It couldn't happen to a couple of better guys on tour. I'm really glad you guys got to experience that as friends. Obviously, you guys, working together as colleagues, but as friends, I'm sure that had to be just a super cool experience to go over there and represent your country. And I'm sure EVR had a blast. So
Yeah, it was really cool. We roomed together, and I
yeah,
remember one night we were going to bed, and it was super hot in the room. So some of the apartments, depending on what country you're in, had AC in there, but we didn't have
yeah,
AC because we were with South Africa, and
right,
they actually don't pretty much have AC in their country.
yeah.
And so we're over there, got the windows open, and then like we're getting ready to go to bed, and you just hear someone yell out from there when they're like, "Can I get a oh yeah?" And then we start responding, "Can you get a oh yeah?" Went on for
That's
like
awesome,
30
dude.
or 40 seconds, just like random people just screaming out their window.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Well, I'm glad you guys got to go. Uh, I know we're kind of short on time today, but I asked all the caddies who are coming on and we'll feature. Can you share any caddy stories that you have? Like one, we don't got to keep PG, it doesn't matter, but anything funny that happens that you could share at the top of mind.
Coming to mind, I don't really have one. One that I think is pretty fun is we're playing golf in Greensboro one year, and there's a five some, and it's a pretty heavy money match. Like when some of
Yeah,
us golf caddies get together, we like to throw around a little bit of coin, and
we've heard. We've
we're
heard.
on 17, and the game's kind of heating up, and I'm not going to share any names, but you know who he is, and
Yeah.
he's like got like an 8-10 footer to win the hole, and he asked me to come and read it, and we kind of agree on a line, and
Yeah.
puts it, and got so mad. He goes, "Oh, I'm not mad that I missed the putt. We had it read perfectly. I didn't trust it." Blah blah blah. Walks off the green storm, takes his putter right against the tree.
Oh no.
Yeah. So no, that's a good one, and
That's awesome.
so there's a boatload of them, but none of them
Well,
are kind of coming to mind. I should probably start to
no
write them
worries.
down so I remember them.
No worries. That's a good one. We always get the good content here. Um, cool. So let's talk a little bit about you obviously a caddy, but you also kind of do the business on the side. Sponsoring today's video, we're gonna do a giveaway with your company, Bubble Whips.
Yep.
Gonna be giving away a set of whips for the episode. So talk to me a little bit about Bubble Whips. I just ordered a set of custom scratch golf show ones, and I got my dad a set of Michigan colors with Natty Champs on it. So excited to get those.
Those
Check out the Bubble Whips
those
Instagram
may
page.
those Natty Champs one may come broken, but
Fair enough. They're cheaters,
yeah,
allegedly.
Minnesota
Sorry,
alum. I don't know if I can allow another Big Ten school to have that.
so, talk to me a little bit about how it started, what the story behind the company. I mean, they're sweet products. I'm really looking forward to getting mine. But just talk to me a little bit about Bubble Whips and how you got involved.
Yeah, so two guys that started it during COVID. One of the guys has got a really good eye for design and just
Yeah,
what people like, and kind of got it started during COVID. And he was using those driveway markers in his
yeah,
bag, and he goes, "These just look bad." And he's always the guy with the fanciest bag and the fanciest head cover.
yeah,
He's got
Yeah.
his ferrules changed out on his irons to be colored ones, and got the fancy
Yeah.
grips, and like he's all about the style. And so he went home, went to Home Depot, got a dowel, and painted it, and put them in his bag. And he goes, "Yeah, these are cool." And then that's kind of how it started. And these two guys ran with it for the first year and a half or 2 years or so. And then it was after 2021, I was looking for some sponsorships, and they were wanting to
Yeah.
do something. And I'm like, well, rather than sponsor me, can I just become a part owner? And
Yeah.
they were like, for sure. And so we've run with it, and I've kind of taken on that role, and now we've hired another employee. So it's just kind of a small business. It's kind of a side gig for all of us. One of the guys is
Yeah.
financial advisor. One guy's commercial real estate. I'm a caddy. So we just kind of do it
Yeah.
on the side, and
Yeah.
it's a fun little way to kind of be involved in golf still,
Yeah.
because everybody loves golf, and it's, in my
Right.
opinion, I think it's the
Exactly.
greatest game. And
The best.
so yeah, that's kind of how I
Yeah, man.
started and got involved.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I know you guys did like the Ryder Cup ones. I guess what's your most famous set of whips that you guys have sent out?
Those Ryder Cup ones are good. We have done some for Barstool,
Oh,
um,
nice.
that turned out really really cool. Um, done some for Good that
Yep.
turned out really cool. So I would say
Oh yeah.
those probably are our highest.
Nice, man. Big, good guy. Love the YouTube side of stuff. Okay. Um, I know we only got a few
I got
minutes, but
I got I can make the phone call at 11:05. That's fine.
okay,
Not
cool.
11.
So let's spend a little bit talking about your game, and then we'll do rapid fires, and we'll get you out of here. So just recently waxed the field in the Minnesota PGA, 61, and then a rather lackluster 64 the next day. I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, so you're obviously a really good player. You Monday queued into the 3M last year, and so talk to me a little bit about your game and how you're so good, yet you're not playing on tour. How does that work?
Dude, I don't think people really understand how good these guys are on tour.
Yeah,
People really don't understand. I'm a decent player, and I've definitely playing the best I've ever played in my life.
yeah,
Um, I Callaway has fit me out with some clubs, and I finally got fit properly and kind
yeah.
of know what I want out of the ball flight and how I want the clubs designed. My putter made by Toulon putters
Big Toulon
is
guy.
incredible. I got a long neck; it's 37 inches, kind of built to my specs. Know what I like,
Yeah,
and I like the ball speed it comes off with, and they're just able to customize all those things, and that's where I think they're the best putter company in the world, along with Callaway makes amazing clubs.
yeah,
So once you get fit, and like there's a lot of good players, but I didn't give equipment as much power until I finally got fit, and then
yeah.
along the improvement of my game is you learn so much watching these guys on tour because they're
Right,
so good, right?
right,
And it almost becomes simple, right? The way I
right.
describe it is there's three ways to learn. you know some people are audio learners. You go take a lesson, they tell you what to do, right? Some
Right.
people are visual learners. I think I'm a big visual learner. You are on tour, as me as a caddy, you're watching all these guys play different shots, how they play
Yeah.
them, this, that, and the other. And then the third thing is through touch and feel and experience, going on the range and trying different things and seeing what works for you, because everybody's body's built a little different. You know, biomechanically, we all move a little different. So I think those are the kind of the three ways people learn. And I think I learn at a pretty high level from a visual standpoint. So,
Yeah.
but my game, I don't play that much. This is the
This
least
is
amount I've
wild.
ever played in my life, and I'm probably playing
Yeah.
the best I ever have. Yeah, Monday queuing for the 3M was a dream, to play in
Yeah.
the PGA Tour event, and then they pair me with Eric.
Yeah.
That was
Had your
really
brother on the
really
bag.
cool. My brother was on the bag, and being kind of being where I live now, so I had a bunch of support. It'd be
Yeah.
different if it was in Jackson, Mississippi, or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
So I had a bunch of people come out and support. It was really cool because us as caddies,
Yeah.
we don't always get the spotlight shown on us, and which is
Right.
which is completely fine. I'm completely okay with that.
Yeah.
And to kind of get the eyes on me that week was really fun. So yeah, it was that was an incredible experience. And then these last few days, I had played one round of golf since like July 8th. And then I teed it up on Monday and just like kind of didn't know what to expect. And I think there's some beauty in that, right? There's some
Yeah.
freedom in that. Where if I'm
Yeah.
practicing and grinding really hard and like the expectations go up.
Yeah.
And now I don't recommend that for any tour pro, but for me it's kind of like if I go shoot 80, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I
Right.
don't
Exactly.
practice. Where for me it's like okay, let's go see what I got. And the course set up
Right.
perfect for me. So my game is
Yeah.
kind of like I hit it pretty long. I hit my irons decent. I'm a terrible wedger. I'm a terrible chipper and pitcher of the golf ball, and I putt it well. So like
Yeah.
if you break that down, the days I hit it good, I'm gonna play pretty good because I'm gonna hit it somewhat near the hole, and I'm a good putter, so I'm gonna play
Yeah.
good. The days I
Right.
don't hit it as good, I'm gonna have to chip more and probably gonna shoot much higher scores. So like my range is really big. Like
Yeah.
I can shoot 61 to 78 really easily.
Which
And
is wild.
and where like some tour pros, they're just like their ceiling is like 71 because if
Yeah.
they hit it bad,
It's
they're just
gotta.
gonna kind of grind it
Yeah.
around, get up and down a few times, and then when they play good, they'll shoot 61.
Yeah.
Um, so like my range is just massive
That's
from a
funny.
you never know what you can
Yeah.
get.
Feel that.
And but yeah, and I've kind of learned, from a statistical standpoint on how to pick apart a golf course the best
Yeah.
way, how aggressive you should be, where you should be aggressive, and things like that. So like I used to kind of play defensive against my short game, like
Yeah.
oh the pin's 4 from the right. Oh, okay, just hit the middle of the green, and now I'm just like whatever, dude. I'm just
Yeah.
hit every flag and shoot as low as I possibly can every
Yeah.
single round. If I shoot 75, I shoot 75. So be it.
Right. For
And like
sure.
I said, it was a perfect golf course for me. It's set up really nice. It wasn't too long. It was set up pretty short. It was
Yeah.
soft. It was wide. Around the greens was pretty simple. Greens were big, so it was like I hit a lot of greens. I think I only missed a couple greens in 2 rounds, and I was like I
Yeah.
was 0 for 4 getting up and down. So it's just
That's
like
wild.
those are on like pitches like on two of the par fives. I hit it in the weeds a couple days and chopped it up to like 30 yards short of the green and had these simple
Yeah.
up and downs. Don't get them up and down. The last hole yesterday, I was trying to get to 20 under. I finished
Yeah.
and I was trying to get to 20 under so bad, and I was like had this simple up and down on the last. It was a 355-yard hole or something. We
Yeah.
drove it up, 10, 15 yards short of the green and had this simple little pitch and chip it to
Yeah.
like 18 feet. I'm like, that's so bad. But
Been there before, man.
yeah, I'm like, that's so bad. But I'm just like, I've kind of accepted it. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep working on it and see if I figure
Yeah.
something out from a short game aspect. And just like, okay, get it somewhere up near the hole the best you can. And
Yeah.
then go make a putt.
For sure. For
And
sure. All right.
the key part for me is I find so much joy in playing now.
Same.
There's
Yeah.
so much joy in playing, whether it's local muni or playing. We took a trip to Ireland. That was amazing. So yeah, it was. I find so much joy in playing, and whether I hit big hooks or big fades or
Yeah.
big slices, high, low. Like when we
Doesn't
played in
matter.
Ireland, I was just crossing my fingers for one day of like 20-mile-an-hour winds, rain
Yeah.
coming sideways, and
Yeah.
and it was so
Everyone's
fun.
dream. Yeah. That's awesome. All right. Let's do some rapid fires. We'll get you out of here. Uh, You already answered what's in the bag, all Callaway guy, but this is a new one I'm debuting. But what's one mulligan? If you had one mulligan for EVR, where would you use it and why for one shot?
Ooh, ooh, one mulligan. That's a tough one.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot. We can pass, and then you can DM me an answer later down the line.
All right, deal,
I can.
deal.
Caddy role model.
Caddy role model, Paul Tesori.
Okay, follower of the show. Favorite course.
Favorite course, North Berwick in Scotland.
Yeah, Willie. We had Willie on, and he was over there. I know you guys are all over there for the Scottish, and when you guys are all playing. How many hole-in-ones do you have?
2.
2?
Yeah, here's a quick hole-in-one story. Playing Winsong Farm, which is in my top 5 of favorite golf courses. It's in Minnesota. It's EVR, myself, an old college teammate, and 2 members out there. And we get to the 7th hole out there, and I'm like, guys, are we playing a hole-in-one game, like $100 hole-in-ones?
Yeah.
And one of the guys goes, $100 hole-in-ones. Let's make it $500 hole-in-ones. I'm like, okay. So no hole-in-ones. We get to hole 16, the last par 5, or last par 3. I'm sorry, and I hooped a 6-iron from like 198 yards. I just went nuts. I'm like, pay up, boys. Let's go.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What a story. All right, last one, and then we'll let you go. Coolest golf moment in your life?
Coolest golf moment in my life? It would probably be either playing the 3M with Eric, or winning the Big Tens with my teammates. I mean, there's so many good ones.
Yeah.
Winning the Barracuda for Eric's first PGA Tour win, especially the spot he was at. He was at like 135th on the money going into that event.
To save his card.
Saved his card. Like that was an amazing week. I won the Wisconsin State Am with my sister on the bag, which was really cool. I don't know if I can pinpoint it. I mean,
no worries.
Golf is such a cool game, man, and
Yeah.
I love every minute of it. Being on the golf course, I think us as caddies have one of the coolest jobs in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm just extremely blessed and grateful for kind of where I'm at. I love playing golf and I love being around the game. It's one of the best things in the world.
It is the best.
Teaches you about life a lot, and it's really cool.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate coming on, Feely. Thank you for being the first guest on the Caddy Corner. Before we sign off, I know you got to go, but any socials, anything you want to plug, go ahead. Any charities, plug Bubble Whip, socials, whatever you want. Tell the people the Scratch Golf Show where to find you, and then I'll let you go, my friend. Thank you so much for your time.
I got no plugs. My words of encouragement are just to be kind to the world. We need everyone to be kind to each other and enjoy every day, as life is short, and keep smiling.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks so much, guys. Follow Alex on Instagram. I'll link it in the description.